Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let me just get started with this. So let me just open up from the other side. And let me just have a look. Okay, just want to check something here. It's all good, all clear. So now let's get started. We are starting with the review of O-level math. And in O-level math, we are focusing on few things. First of all, the examiner report. So that is what I'm focusing on. And then we are solving some papers, some nice questions from different papers. It could be from OMath. It could be from IGCSE, anything that is relevant to this thing. So now, first of all, let's look at this. Let me highlight few things. When we are talking about a particular paper, whether it's from 2023 or 2025, there are few things that needs to be considered. The first thing is that be familiar with the syllabus content. I mean, your paper is tomorrow, so definitely you are familiar with this. Be able to carry out basic calculations without a calculator. That is for paper one, and we are focusing on paper one right now. And then understand and use correct mathematical terminology, draw and interpret graphs and diagrams, apply mathematical techniques to solve problems, set out work in clear logical steps. That is the most important thing. That is clear logical steps. Now over here, when we talk about the paper, a lot of people, they ask this question, what needs to be done, what is not necessary. First of all, remember this thing, that is show all essential working. That essential working could be of any type. It could be about basic algebra. It could be about arithmetic, the basic mathematical operations. It could be about indices. It could be about expansion. It could be about factorization. And those people who are with me on the WhatsApp group, can you let me know if the voice is all good, all clear? So now that is what I'm focusing on. And let me again underline few major things. Now, first of all, the content is out there on my channel. I mean, you have used that content, mashallah say, I mean, you are all well aware of it. What I'm focusing on is cool your nerves down. That is the most important thing. That means cool your nerves. Because if you are calm and at peace, inshallah, you would be able to do the paper with flying colors. You don't have to be anxious. I'm here to help you out as much as possible, make things easier for you. Some predictions that are in my heart, maybe I'll be able to share it over here. Maybe I can send some images. So, I mean, I'll just discuss a little bit, an educated guess. When we are talking about all these things, so one of the things that is that the questions assessing, let me first focus over here. Many candidates presented their work well with working set out legibly and answers clearly stated on the answer line. This is very, very important. There is an answer line over there that goes like these dots over there. And we have these dots, and then there is a mark over here, maybe 1 mark, maybe 2 mark. So that answer should be written over here. All the working has to be done, but it has to be on the answer line. Be very, very careful of this. Most use the appropriate geometrical instruments. A lot of people, they ask me about geometrical instruments. Yes, you have to take it. What geometrical instruments are we talking about? We are talking about a compass. we are talking about a protractor, and we are talking about a ruler. So yes, this is necessary, and definitely a pencil. For any kind of diagram, any kind of graphs, a pencil is necessary. And then there is a black or blue pen, which you use for rest of the working. Then it further says, many candidates demonstrated sound basic arithmetic skills, although errors were seen when working with negative numbers, be careful, or cancelling fractions. Whatever you assume to be very, very easy, that is the place where things can go wrong. So be very, very careful about it. Now, some people are asking me questions on the WhatsApp, and I'll also take care of that. Sir, can we show the essential working not in the answer space, but around the question somewhere on the same page? Yes, let me show you a question, and I'll explain it to you what I mean by it exactly. So let me first read it out, and then I'll come back to this question. Now it says, what else is there? Candidates often demonstrated good algebraic skills, particularly in solving simultaneous equations and expanding brackets, although care should be taken with signs when collecting terms. There are 4 terms, the x with the x, the y with the y. Take care of those signs. Some candidates were unfamiliar with function notation. Candidates would benefit from a great understanding of the mathematical terms used in the syllabus, such as mixed number, a plane of symmetry, correlation, where a question asks for an answer in its simplest form, fractions should be written in the lower term. Now, this planes of symmetry, it's not applicable for us, the reason being that the loci is no more part of the syllabus. Candidates should aim to present their work in a legible manner, and should ensure that the numbers such as 1, 4, and 7 can be easily distinguished. They should cross out, now listen from here, they should cross out and replace work if they have made errors rather than overwriting, as this cannot be read clearly. If it cannot be read clearly, you won't be getting any marks for it. They should show their method for a question, show their method in the working space for that question. Now, someone has asked this question that you have to show the working. Now, if someone is not prepared thoroughly, of course, they would be doing a lot of errors over there, but that space is more than enough. There are some extra space given at the back, so you should write it clearly that this is the working for this thing, maybe a page or so. But as such, you don't need any extra space, believe me. If the work continues elsewhere, it says there. This should be referred to in the working space for the question, and the additional work must be clearly labeled with the relevant question number. Now, over here, let me go up. And let's say this is a 2023 paper, which is already solved. And let me tell you that look at the space. The question is written over here. The table is there. The question is here. This is a lot of space for this thing. So, I mean, who would want to mess this thing up? No one. That means first think clearly, first underline things. When you want to underline things, you should underline with a pencil, not with a pen. There are no highlighters involved. So underline with a pencil, and then you are all set. So now over here, someone is asking for the link. It's on the YouTube channel. So now let's get started with this. Let me just do one thing. Hold for a second. Okay. Just waiting for a few things. Okay. So now let's keep on moving. All this working is done over here. All the working, even over here, final answer should be over here. Only the final answer. Be very, very careful of this. Now, once this is done, let me focus on some IGCSE paper. And before that, there are some practice papers which we have already solved. So now over here, first of all, in the new syllabus, you are having this formula sheet, the list of formulas. Area of triangle, area of circle of radius r. And I'm just looking at one thing. There is also area of triangle over here. So there are two areas of triangle. That is the half base into height. And then there is this half AB sine C, that is part of trigonometry. So this is part of trigonometry. Pythagoras is too basic. I don't think so. They have written it. And sine, cos, tan is not written. Keep that in mind. Over here, I have this thing, area of circle, circumference of circle, and then it's about a cylinder, curved surface area, and then there should be a volume of cylinder, and I'm just highlighting like terms. There is about cone, and do we have another cone? Yes. And then we are talking about sphere. We are talking about a sphere. And then separately, we are talking about a pyramid. And then we are talking about a prism. So I think everything is circled. Then yes, there is the quadratic formula that's written over here. And then basic trigonometry. So for this triangle, everything is written, but what is not written? That is for a right angles triangle. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. And hypotenuse square is equals to base square plus height square. So this is not written, which of course it's something very basic. That is one thing. Now over here, this thing is done. Now we have this question. This is practice P1, and I think I have solved it in some other page. For a second, that is the OG thing, the original. Let me first go to this list. And that is math, that is specimen. This is practice P1. And then there is specimen 1A. No, not the mark scheme. I don't need the mark scheme. There is 1A question paper. That is the OG. Hold for a second. So this is 1B practice this thing. This is specimen 1A. And this is specimen 1B. Now these three papers are there on the channel. Let me just focus on some questions, and then I'll try some of these, some new questions out. Now, this was about rotational symmetry, basic idea, taking care of the negative sign, putting bracket, that is order of operations, very important nowadays. Something about a basic triangle angle property, something about perimeter, just an expression. A lot of people, they confuse expression with equation. Equation has an equal sign. Expression, there is no equal sign. You just say perimeter is this. You're not equating it to something. Something about trapezium, converting percentage to decimals, recurring decimals, something that is new. And then this thing, this was the paper that I practiced that day. And there was a paper similar to this. That is about transformation. A lot of people ask about transformation. So one thing that people ask is this thing, that how do you find the center of enlargement? So you join corresponding points. Let me just erase this thing. And let me grab a green marker from here. You join corresponding points where it meet. That is the center of enlargement. So it's meeting over here. And then when you write translation, you should write as translation vector. When you write about enlargement, you should write center of enlargement. When you talk about rotation, you should state the angle clockwise, anti-clockwise. Only for 180 degrees, you don't have to write it, because clockwise and anti-clockwise is the same thing, and the center of rotation. And then some basic profit and loss, basic fractions, work out everything. Just look at the working. You have to show everything. Sometimes you can deal with LCM. Sometimes I converted 7/4, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. I convert it into what? I convert it into equivalent fractions. So that is the thing that I did. So now over here, thank you for all the hellos. I'm a little bit slow in replying and teaching at the same time. Talk to you all later. So now over here, let me just move it all the way so that I can have a pretty good idea if everything is going okay. This was a nice question. This is practice paper 1, by the way, practice paper 1. This question was also nice. So now all these questions are there. And nowadays, just focus on this, that it's a 2-hour paper. When it's a 2-hour paper, you have got new things such as functions, you have got new things such as recurring decimals, and then probability is there. Be very, very careful with this. Upper bound, lower bound, it comes a lot, not to be taken lightly. Kinematics is very light-hearted. And this question was a nice one, something to do with cylinder and everything. Proportionality is there. Rationalization, surds, that's a new thing. Vectors is evergreen, that's always present. And then algebra is there. Now look at this. They're giving 7 marks for nothing. That's a lot of marks. It's just adding 2 fractions, simplifying it, solving it quadratically, and you're getting 7 marks. So now it's not necessary sometimes that 7 marks means a lot. As compared to question 24, it's only 3 marks. I mean, that is unfair from my behalf. So now that's how things are. So now let me take you to an IGCSE paper. And there are some favorites that I've marked. Let me try out some of them. Now let's look at this question. Now these are fresh questions and these are my favorites. So I have a very high inclination towards it. So basically, this is what my prediction is. All these questions that I'm going to do, basically, it's an educated guess. So that you have a good idea. These are the different kinds of questions that can come also. Now it says a circle has an area of 25 pi centimeter square. Work out the circumference of the circle. Now it's a 2-step problem. When we say that the area is this, therefore pi r square, let me make it thicker, pi r square is 25 pi. R square is 25, R is only plus 5 because it's a dimension. That's the first thing. Very basic thing, but don't make mistakes. And circumference is 2 pi R. That is 2 into pi into 5, that is 10 pi. And write 10 pi over here. Now somebody just WhatsApp me, which I talked about earlier. So what if the space, you're running short of space? No such thing happens. Believe me, no such thing happens. 2 of the circles I use as ends of a cylinder with height h. So basically, what is happening is that there are 2 circles like this. Let me make a circle. And let me copy it. This thing, let me remove it. And have a good idea. There is no harm in drawing some diagrams like this. And then let me join it with straight lines like this. So that's how this thing is drawn. That's how this thing is drawn. So that is a cylinder. And the total surface area is 170 pi. So now over here, this is 10 pi. This is 10 pi. This is curved surface area. All this thing adds up to 170. Therefore, curved surface area plus 10 pi is 170 pi. Curved surface area is 150 pi. I'm showing all the working. And we know that, but curved surface area is what? That is 2 pi RH. So 2 pi RH is equals to 150 pi. Cancel off the pi's. 2 into R is how much? R is 5, I think. R is, R is 5 into H is 150. And it says the two of the circle are used as ends. The total surface area is 170. So 2 pi RH plus pi r square plus pi r square is this much. So therefore, hold for a second, one mistake. C is this thing. This is the area. My bad. Let me correct myself. So yes, this thing happens. This thing happens. That's part of life. So now this is 25 pi. So this is 25 pi. Do not mix up the circumference with the area. This is 25 pi. This is 50 pi. 170 minus 50 is how much? 120 pi. 120 pi. 120. So 2 into 5 is 10. This is H. This is 120. H is 120 over 10. That comes out to be 12. So H is 12. So now what I should have done is that since I'm scrolling it up and down, so that thing is skipping out. When you are doing it on paper like this, so you have everything. So you should write over here, area of the top is 25 pi. That is also area of bottom, so that you don't mess it up. Got the idea? So that is the first question that I did. Let me move to this question. A lot of people, they ask about net. Complete the net of this cuboid on the 1 centimeter square grid. Now, this thing is 5 centimeter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is this thing. So let me highlight it. So this thing is like this. That is 5. And let me mark over here. This thing is 5. Then this thing is 2. So this thing is 2. So this thing is 2. Then again, let me mark over here. This is again 5. This is again 2. So basically, you have drawn the base. Now, what else do you see? You see a side wall. Let me call it right wall. Let me call it left wall. What is the dimension? That is 2 and that is 4. So if this is 2, then 4 should be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me draw this thing. And we have this thing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, like this and like this. So this flap would open up, and this would be the side wall over here, side wall over here. Similarly, do the same thing on the left hand side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this is 2. Let me just remove this thing and use the blue color over here. So this is like this 2. That's this 2. And that is this 2. On either side. And this 4 is like this thing. So that is 5. This is 4. This is 4. Purple color. So that is this 4. And this 4. And this 4. And this 4. Something like this. Got the idea? So now what else needs to be drawn? So now the base is there. And the side wall is there. Side wall is there. And cuboid. So now you need the top thing over here. So you can draw something on this side, something on this side, and that is how you draw this thing. So now this thing is complete. Or since there is less space, so this wall is what you have drawn, and then draw on this side, and then draw on this side. So therefore, this becomes the base. That is how you approach this net problem. Got the idea? So now let's move on. Let's move to this one. The ones that I've done, I'm removing it. Something to do with set notation. People in a group, that is the universal set. People who own a bicycle, that is B. C for car. There are 120 people in the group. 21 own a bicycle. That means this whole thing is 21. So now this whole circle over here That whole circle is 21. That is B. That is this 21. And then 15 who own both a bike and a car. So 15 is bike and a car. So this is 15 over here. So this is 15 over here. And the total bike is 21. So therefore, this is 21 minus 15. That is how much? That is 6. So 6 people own a bike only. 35 do not own a bike and do not own a car. So these 35 are coming on the outside. How much is the total? That is 120. So therefore, 21 plus 35, that is 26, 56. 120 minus 56 is 64. So these are 64 people who own a car only. So this is car only. And this is bike only. This is both. So this one is both. This is none of these two. So altogether, this is 120. Complete the Venn diagram for 2 marks. That's done. A person from this group is chosen at random. So therefore, the denominator is 120. Find the probability this person owns a car. It does not say only. So that is 64 plus 15, 64 plus 5, 69, 79. That is 79 over 120. No need of reducing it. So line 79 and 120. That's how you get this. Now over here, shade the region D, union E. I think that's pretty basic. So the union thing is take all without repetition. So just stay within the 2 circles. That is D, union E. Let me remove this thing. Let's move on. Something to do with basic mensuration. Now, these IGCSE paper, they're all calculator ones. So maybe you might come across a question in which calculator is used. So I'll just simplify the number. Okay. So now over here, what do we have? So let me just close the voice. Okay. So now the right angle triangle, the right angle triangular prism has a height of 6 centimeter, width of W, and length of 18. The volume of the prism is 810 centimeter cube. Find the value of W. So expect easy numbers because this is like a paper 2 calculator question. But when it comes to your 4024 paper 1, the numbers will be simpler. So numbers will be simpler. Let's see how simple are these. Is this possible or not? Not sure. Find the value of W. So you write the first step, area of triangle, that is half into 6 into W. Leave it as it is. And then the length is 18. So the volume is 18 into half into 6 into W. Now I can simplify. 2 ones are 2 nines are 9 6 are 54. That is 54W. So therefore, this thing 54W is 810. So that is not 5W. That is 54. So let me just correct this thing. So this is 54W is this thing. W is 810. Let me break up 54 into 9 and 6. So that is 9 and 6. I think it is reducible. 9 ones are 9 nines are. So this is 90 over 6. 90 over 6 is 15. So I made this paper 2 question into a paper 1 question. So therefore, W comes out to be 50. Question 19. This is something like relative frequency or probability or ratio. They mean the same thing. So now someone is asking me to speak in Urdu. The thing is, I can speak in Urdu, but there are larger masses and they want me to speak in English. So thank you. Okay. Now people, it says in a survey, could you just hold for a second? Okay, people. So someone, if they cannot follow the rules, so I have to just like put him out of the room. In a survey of 1,200 people, 150 people are left-handed. Work out the expected number of left-handed people in a town with 56,000 people. Very simple. Total and left-handed people. Out of 1,200, there are 150. Out of 56,000, there are, let me call L, X is good. So now cross multiply, again. That's the paper 2 question. Let's see how much can we work out. X into 1,200, 150 into 5,600, 56,000. Just work out with the zeros, the 2 zeros, 1 0, okay? So therefore, X is 150, 15 into 10, into 56 into 1,000, divided by 12 into 100. So 1 0 and 2 zeros, it cancels off. I'm left with a 10. And then 3 4s are, 3 5s are. And 56, is it divisible by 4? Yes. 4 1s are, 4 14s are. So 14, 28 into 2, 56. Yes. So I get a 1 over here. 5 into 14, 70, 700. So the answer is 700. So that is the expected number of people. So now this thing is done. Let me remove this thing. Let's look at this. Now a conceptual question. Explain why the equation of line L in this diagram cannot be y is equals to x plus 2. Over here, gradient is positive. Over here, y-intercept is positive. Over here, gradient is positive, but y-intercept is negative. That's why it's not this equation. The diagram does not correspond with the equation. Is this all clear? So now let's move on. Let's remove this basic question. Now look at this. The diagram shows two sides of a regular polygon. The interior angle of a polygon is this thing. The exterior angle of the same polygon is this. Find the number of sides. Now, how many marks? 4 marks. So do not hurry into this. First thing first, that is add it all up. 7x plus 44 plus x plus 8 equals to 180 degrees. So the interior angle plus the exterior angle of the same polygon should add up to 180 degrees. 7 plus 1, that is 8x. 44 plus 6 plus 2, 52. So this is 180 minus 52. 180 minus 50 is 130, minus 2 is 128. So 128 degrees is 8x. Therefore, x is, I'm using a calculator because this is not a paper 1 question. So for my simplicity and for ease, 128 divided by 8, that comes out to be 60. X is 16 degrees. Now there are 2 options. So let me work both of them out. Option 1 and then option 2. So first of all, option 1 is work with interior angles. It's a regular polygon. Does it say that? Yes, all angles are equal. So each angle of a regular polygon is equal to what? That is n minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by n. That is the sum divided by how many sides there. So 16 is n minus 2 into 180 over n. And work this out, you'll find the value of it. If I want to work with exterior angle knowledge, so let me just remove this first. So if I want to work with exterior angle knowledge, so what will I do? I'll work this thing, that the sum of exterior angle, each exterior angle of a regular polygon, it's equal to 180 degrees divided by n. Got the idea? So now the exterior angle, 360 degrees, my bad. That is 360 degrees divided by n. So therefore 360 over 16. So 360 divided by 16, that comes out to be 22.5. There is something missing. This adds up to this thing. Let me just work out. So 16n, first of all, 16n is equals to 180n minus 180. 180n minus 360, my bad. So 180 minus 360, 180 minus 180 minus 16. Hold for a second. That is 164. 164 is equals to 360. I think I made a mistake somewhere. 7x plus 8, 7x plus s is 8x, 180 minus 44 minus 8. 180 minus 44 minus 8, that is 128. 128 divided by 8, that is x. Hold for a second. X plus 8 degrees, I forgot the 8. So let me remove this, my bad. Okay. So now the interior angle is this. So the interior angle is 7 into 16 plus 140 plus 44. So yes, it's a paper 2 kind of a question. So that is 7 into 16 plus 44. That is 156. This is 156 degrees. Each interior angle is equals to 156 is equals to n minus 2 into 180 divided by n. So therefore 156n is 180n minus 360, and therefore 24n is 360. So 360 divided by 24, that comes out to be 50. So n is 50. Got the idea? If we talk about exterior angle, how much is the exterior angle? That is x plus 8. So 16 plus 8 is 24 degrees. The sum of exterior angles is 360 degrees. Therefore, each exterior angle is equals to 360 over n. So 24 is 360 over n, the same thing as this. N comes out to be 15. So the mistake that I made was this. The angle was not x. The angle was what? 7x plus 24. That's the interior. So the interior was 7x plus 44, which is 156 degrees. And the exterior, excuse me, the exterior angle is 16 plus x, which is 24 degrees. So this is the working done with exterior angle. Let me just close this thing. And this is the working done with interior angle. Okay. So when you have to scroll up and down, so I mean, that's, I should minimize and then work. So now this is all got all clear. So now let's move on. Okay, now let's look at this question. Here is some information about 6 numbers. The lowest number is 37. The range is 24. The mode is 43. The median is 46. One number is a multiple of 11. So now find the other 5 numbers. So let's look at this. Here is some information about 6 numbers. अच्छा जी. So थोड़ा सा उर्दू में भी बात कर लेते हैं, कुछ लोग खुश हो जाएंगे. Here is some information. The lowest number is 37. अच्छा जी, तो चले थोड़ा सा उर्दू में. यहाँ पे lowest number 37 है. So that is 37 over here. और उसके बाद range जो है वो 24 है. That is highest value minus lowest value. अब ये क्या कह रहे हैं? Mode 43 है. इसका मतलब है 43 should be occurring at least more than once. The median is 46. Beach wala number 46 hai. So the middle one is 46. One number is a multiple of 11. That's a nice question. And if you look at the recent specimen paper, usme is jaisa question aaya hai. So now find other 5 numbers. सबसे पहले lowest तो 37, that's written. Range 24 hai, that means the biggest number should be what? 37 plus 24, 47, 57, 57 plus 4 is 61. So the biggest number is 61. Median is 46. So 46 has to be in the middle. 46 has to be in the middle. And then the mode is 43. So therefore, 43 should be occurring at least twice because there is only space for 2. So it should come over here. And one number is a multiple of 11. That number should be between 46 and 61. What is the multiple of 11? 44 can't be there. 55? Yes, 55 is there. And that is how you find these 5 numbers. Just have a good look. So now, I think this is done. Let's move on. Over here. Correlation. Yes, a lot of people, they ask question about this thing. Hendrik draws this scatter diagram. And now it says, put a ring around one correct statement about the scatter diagram. So what is that one correct statement? It shows no correlation. Now, first of all, how many points are there? I see only 3 points. First thing, shows no correlation. That is one. Next thing, it's not possible to tell there is correlation or not as there are enough points. There are not enough points. That's the next thing. It shows negative correlation. It shows positive correlation. So we are unsure about this. I think I'll go with this idea that there are not enough points because at least 5/6 are there. No, someone is answering negative. Yes, that's a feeling like this, but maybe there could be some points over here. So there could be no correlation. 3 points are very less. Okay, ji. So now let's move on. Each of the 4 scatter diagram, अब ये 4 scatter diagrams आपको नजर आ रहे, shows the same set of data. A line has been drawn on each diagram. Complete the statement. The line in diagram such is the most appropriate. Now look at all the points. Let me mark the points, some in red. And then this one is also above. And then 2 points are below. Actually, 5 points are above and 2 are below. This one doesn't make sense. 1 point, 2 point, 3 points above. And 1.2 points below. 2 points on the line, almost. And then all these points are above. Got the idea? So which is the best one? The best one is this thing C. It's not necessary that all points lie on the line. Maybe few can lie on the line, but whatever are left, the ones left at the top and left at the bottom should almost be the same. So the best line of best fit is C. Acha ji, to thank you for praising Urdu. Thodi si Urdu, thodi si English. If that is the demand of the people, chale, karte hain. अब आगे बढ़ते हैं, कहाँ जाएं? And over here, yes, this thing. Write down the order of rotational symmetry. कितना rotational symmetry है? ये 4 कोने पे 4 चीजें हैं. There are 4 corners and these are shaded. So that's very simple. The order of rotational symmetry is 4. Because if I label this thing as A, B, C, D, and this is like the center. और अगर मैं इसको move करूं, so A will go to B, B will go to C, C will go to D, D will go to A, and so on. And then it says on the diagram, draw all the lines of symmetry. Now, as far as lines of symmetry are concerned, I think that's the first one. Then there is this one, the next one. Then there is this green one like this. And then there is the 4th one, this purple one. So there are 4 lines of symmetry. The stem and plot is not for you people. Acha ji, something like this. A simple question of what you call cylinders. It says the diagram shows two cylinders, show that the two cylinders are mathematically similar. The ratio of length should be the same. So if I say radius big divided by radius small, it should be the same thing as height big divided by height small. Radius big is 12.5. Radius small is 5. Height big is 32.5. Height small is 13. So we know that 12.5 over 50 can be written as 125. 12.5 over 5 can be written as 125 over 50. This can be written as 325 over 130. So when you simplify, this comes out to be 5 over 2. This comes out to be 5 over 2. Yes, the ratios are the same. Therefore, they are mathematically similar. Let me add some extra information over here. And that extra information is about area and volume so that you can correspond with it. And the thing is area big divided by area small should be length big divided by length small, the whole thing square. Whether that length is the radius, ratio of radius, or ratio of heights, it's the same thing because it's corresponding ratios. And volume of big divided by volume of small, it's length of big divided by length of small, the whole thing cubed. So remember these two rules. So I think that is enough of this. So let me just remove this, all this thing. Let me remove this PDF, this PDF. Let me go over here. And this one I did today. ये आज किया था क्लास के अंदर भी. For each sketch, put a ring around the correct type of function. अच्छा, मैं आपको सिर्फ ये बता दूं कि क्या चीजें आज 3 वीडियोस मैंने शेयर की थी, उसका सिर्फ मैं एक आपको ग्लिम्स दिखा दूं. This thing is paper 2 linear function. That was done earlier. तो जिसको स्केच पढ़ना हो लीनियर फंक्शन का, ये चीजें भी साइड पे बता रहा हूं क्योंकि ये सेशन में मैं आपको प्रेडिक्शंस अपने हिसाब से, मेरे पसंदीदा क्वेश्चंस, व्हाट आई फील इज गुड फॉर यू पीपल, वो मैं बता रहा हूं. बट डू वॉच दिस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो व्हिच इज अबाउट लीनियर फंक्शंस. ठीक है, जस्ट एन आइडिया. उसके बाद quadratics, I think that was like a 30-minute comprehensive video. Very, very important. This is part of the syllabus 2.11, sketching curves. It's about turning points, symmetry, and everything. The general form, just look at the sketches. The general form, the basic x square, negative x square, steepness changes, flattening out. Just watch everything in there. Let me also show you this thing. I mean, you can see on the screen something to do with line of symmetry, the completed square form. And then again, you can watch on the screen something to do with factorized form. So these 3 forms were discussed. Today, I uploaded sketching cubic functions. Now they are more gearing towards A level. So they are focusing on these 2 types of cubic functions. Very, very important. Understand the basics of it. That's how cubic function looks like. Top right, bottom left with negative x cube. That is top left, bottom right. And then we talked about, I think, reciprocal functions. Very, very important again, once again, because the concept of asymptotes is there. That is a line which the graph approaches, but you can never touch it. So check out all these videos, because if you want to have a perfect paper, and if you have already a good concept, no need of watching these videos. If you are unsure of it, then go ahead and watch these videos. So let me just remove it. So this question, I have done it over there. For each sketch, put a ring around the correct type of function. Linear, cubic, quadratic, reciprocal, exponential. This is cubic. And what is this one? This is a reciprocal function. Of course, you can only realize this thing once you know that you have understood the basics. Acha ji, let's move on. This is not for you. Just remove it. Now something like the circle thing. Yes. Something that was added very recently. That is the concept in the new syllabus. That is the concept of alternate segment theorem. I have drawn a circle. I have drawn a tangent. I have drawn a chord. And let me draw two lines from the chord, touch the circumference in the major segment. Now, what this property tells you is this thing. Now, let me just make it a little bit bigger. This is too small. What it tells you is this thing. This angle over here, the one that I'm shading in purple, that is the same thing as this angle over here, the one I've shaded in purple. Now, let me label with some names. This is A, B, C, and this is T, A, D. So the angle chord makes with tangent should equal the angle, the same chord, AC. AC is making an angle in alternate segment, that in this case is the major segment at circumference. Got the idea? So now look at it. This is A, B, C. The angle is at B. It's in the major segment. So this is major segment at circumference. Because the name is A, B, C, the angle is B. And this is in the minor segment with the tangent. So these two angles are the same. This is called alternate segment theorem. अच्छा जी, थोड़ा सा उर्दू में और बता दूं कि ये जो एंगल बन रहा है ये वाले कॉर्ड का टैंजेंट के साथ, क्या यही कॉर्ड इस जगह से लाइन खींची, सर्कमफ्रेंस पे टच किया, तो ये वाला एंगल है? द आंसर इज यस. सो देयरफॉर दीस टू आर इक्वल. नाउ इज इट एप्लीकेबल ओवर हियर? द क्वेश्चन इज इट एप्लीकेबल ओवर हियर? द आंसर इज यस. सो नाउ लेट मी चूज a reddish color. Let me make it a little bit thicker. So now this is the tangent like this. And this thing, the blue thing is the chord. It is twisted, of course. That is the chord like this. And over here, let me draw two lines from that chord. One line over here, one line over here. Got the idea? Now look at the diagram. It is just twisted. This angle 53 degrees, it's like this purple angle. So this purple angle is this thing. Let me highlight it. So this thing right over here, which I've thoroughly shaded, that is the same thing as this angle over here. So therefore, this is 53 degrees. So let me write over here, this is 53 degrees. Got the idea? Now, what should I do? I should draw a line from A till O. That line is drawn. OA is the same thing as OC. That means these two lengths are equal. Therefore, this angle, this portion is also 20 degrees. Similarly, if I choose some other color like this dark blue, let me focus on this thing. Hold for a second. Let me focus on OA. Let me focus on OB. Yes, these two are also radii. So now this angle, if it's x degrees, therefore this angle is also x degrees. So 53 minus 20, this x is 23 degrees. So that is how you find the value of x. So I hope this is all clear. Let's move on. What is this question about? This question, this is like a paper 2 question. If it comes in the exam, then they would give you simple numbers. Let me make it a paper 1 question. So now, yani the examiner will change the values. They would make it simpler and so on. So now it says F is proportional to the product of M and A. So F is proportional to MA, therefore F is equals to KMA. That is the first thing. Calculate the percentage change in F when M is increased by 40%. So M plus 40% of M 40% of m, that is m plus 0.4 m, that comes out to be 1.4 m. So now the new m is 1.4 m. And A is decreased by 15%. So therefore, A minus, because it's a decrease, 15% of A, that is A minus 0.15A, which is 0.85A. So now this is 0.85A. So now this is the new value of K. Sorry, the new value of F. So if I multiply 1.4 into 0.85, so 1.4 is 14 over 10, 0.85 is 85 over 100. I think they would be asking easy numbers. Let's say if this was a paper one question, I'll write this thing as 10 plus 4, this as 80 plus 5, 10 into 80, that is 800, 10 into 5, that is 50, 4 into 80 is 320, 4 into 5 is 20, 50 plus 20, 70, 70 plus 20, 90, 90 plus 1100, that is 1190, divided by 3 zeros. So 1190 divided by 3 zeros, it's 1.19. So this is 1.19K. Got the idea? Basically, F is 1 plus 0.19, this thing, 1 plus 0.9K. So this is the original. This is the increase. So 0.19 means 19% increase. A very nice question. Expect something like this, maybe a simple version in your exam tomorrow. Now, someone asked this emotional question. अगर कुछ नहीं हो रहा जबकि सब पढ़ा तो क्या करें? If nothing is happening when you have studied everything, I think let's have a positive mindset. Do not overstress yourself at this point. There is no use of that. Just imagine if things want to go worse, it will be going worse. So why worry about it? So just relax. Whatever you have done, be relaxed. Have a good night's sleep. Go tomorrow, and inshallah, whatever will happen will be better than what will happen if you would be worried. So just relax and don't worry about that. So just relax and do your level best tomorrow. And one other thing which people ask is about sleep. So do not try any questions or papers tonight. There is no use. Anxiety won't help you. So now anxiety, I'm just typing it, anxiety won't be of any help. So I think that's all I can counsel you at this stage, and let's hope for the best. तो चलें, जितना मैं कर सकता हूं उतना मैं कर रहा हूं. अच्छा जी, यहां पर let me look at this question. अब ये probability है, so थोड़ा सा इसको मैं समझा देता हूं. और ये क्या बोल रहा है? ये बोल रहा है कि एक बैग में 5 ग्रीन बटन है, 2 ब्लू बटन हैं और 6 white buttons. Mary take 2 buttons at random from the bag without replacement. Calculate the probability one is green and the other is not green. अच्छा जी. So now यहाँ पे 5 green buttons है. So let me write it like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was a half button. Let me draw it full. 3, 4, 5. 5 green buttons, 2 blue buttons, and white, I cannot label it. So let me just work out with the red. Okay, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it says Maya takes 2 buttons at random from the bag without replacement. Calculate the probability 1 is green. So calculate the probability 1 button is green and the other button is not green. So let me add these 2 colors, and this is the new color that I'm getting. Not green is this thing. So let me write over here. There are 5 green, and let me write over here in this color. that this is 2 plus 6 is 8 non-green. Got the idea? So now, first of all, the total is how much? 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 6 is 13. So there is a denominator of 13, there is a denominator of 12. Then let me write a denominator of 13, a denominator of 12. It could be green and not green, or it could be not green and green. The order matters. So now, first of all, let me write 5 over here. Let me write 5 over here. Let me write 8 over here. Let me write 8 over here. Got the idea? So 8 into 5 over 13. Someone can write this once and multiply by 2. That's also an option, which I'll do in the next step. So this is 2 into 5 into 8 into 13 into 12. And now I'll simplify. So 4 3s are, 4 2s are, 2 into 2 is 4, 4 into 5 is 20, 13 into 3 is 39, that is 20 over 39. That's a beautiful answer in the exact form, cannot be further simplified. So now this is all good, all clear. Let me remove this. And let's look at some other question. Describe a single transformation that maps A onto triangle B. So focus on one point. Let me focus on this point in red color. And when it is twisting, it's becoming this. So when it's becoming this, what is happening? So now it's going this way. First of all, write rotation over here. The next thing that you need to write, it's 90 degrees anti-clockwise. And then center of rotation, that is what you need to write. So center of rotation is something. Now focus on the points. The point is 2, negative 1. And it's becoming A onto B. Sorry. So this is like this. This is clockwise, my bad. So let me use a small eraser over here. This is 90-degree clockwise because it's going like this. This is A to B, not B to A. So that is clockwise, center of rotation. And look at the points over here. So 1, 2, it's becoming 2, negative 1. The coordinates flip and new y coordinate changes sign. That is the property for 90-degree this thing. Since they are flipping and they're not increasing or decreasing, therefore the center of rotation is the origin. Keep that in mind. So now let me also show you something which is about the other things that were done. So now that is the complete thing. And then we have this thing, which is transformation and combination of transformation. So now make sure that you're well aware of it. Matrices are not there in the syllabus, but the concept is when you do enlargement scale factor K, a point such as AB becomes KA-KB, right over here. When we are talking about reflection in x-axis, y-coordinate changes sign. When we are talking about reflection in y-axis, x-coordinate changes sign. When we are talking about reflection in the line y is equals to x, AB becomes BA, coordinates flip. When we talk about reflection in the line y is equals to negative x, not only coordinates flip, they're also change sign. Similarly, about rotation, 90-degree clockwise, that is what we did. AB becomes B minus A, coordinates flip, new y coordinate changes. If it's 90-degree anti-clockwise, coordinate flips, new x coordinate changes. If it's 180-degree rotation, coordinates do not flip, they only change sign. So that is the basic idea over here. So I think we did a lot of IGCSE questions. And let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me have a look at this. If there is something more interesting over here, nothing as such. So let me just remove all the IGCSE stuff. If there is anything, then I'll be letting you know. So now over here, let me explain to you some questions from 2022. So I hope you can see the screen. And these are paper ones that I've opened up. So now 2022 paper one, that is what I'm focusing on. It says two cubes have a total volume of 152 centimeter cube. One cube has an edge of length 5 centimeter. Calculate the length of the other cube. Edge, length of the edge, not ledge, length of the edge. So first volume is 125, 152 minus 125 is 27. That is x into x into x. Therefore, the length of the other cube is 3. Work out the total length of all the edges of the larger cube. Now the larger cube has a side 5 centimeter. How many edges are there? I think 12. So 12 into 5 is 60. That is the answer. Something about net, in which a net is already drawn, and they are asking you to do some calculation. The diagram shows the net of a solid drawn on a 1 centimeter grid. That is the diameter. That is 3 centimeter is the diameter. Radius is 1.5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a little bit more. That is 2 pi r h. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is the height. So length, if it's lying down like this, the length is 6, and the curved surface area, this is the 2 pi r, and this is h. So 2 pi r is this thing, this is h over here. That is how you have to figure it out. Something like all this basic thing, write down a prime number between 10 and 15. So just mark it down. So it could be between 10 and 15. It could be 11. It could be 13. An irrational number between 10 and 15. What's a rational number? That can be written as a fraction of two integers. So root 2 is 1.4142. That's irrational. Root 3 is irrational. And root 100 is 10. Root 144 is 12. So choose any number in between the two. So I just chose root 101. So now this thing is there. Something that is this thing, scatter diagram, very easy. Significant figures not to be taken lightly. By writing each number correct to 1 SF, estimate the value. 0.28, it rounds off to 0.3. 37.4 rounds off to 40, because this is insignificant figure. We are focusing on this. 37.4 lies between 40 and 30. It's closer to 40. 77.8 lies between 80 and 70. It's closer to 80. Plug in the values, simplify, you get this answer. Standard form, yes, not to be taken lightly. So write this thing in the standard form. So 102030, and it should be over here, 8.63, 10 to the power minus 4. Because 10 to the power minus 4 means 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. That is why the decimal will move back. The table below shows the approximate areas of some deserts. Antarctica, Arabian, Gobi, K, and S. So now, write down the name of the desert with the largest area. So you can only decide once all these 10s have the same power. So what should we do? We have 10 power x, 10 power x, 10 power x, convert it into 10 power x, convert it into 10 power x. So 10 power 7, I wrote this thing as 10 power 1 into 10 power 6. This is 1.4 into 10 is 14 into 10 power 6, because unless and until I do this, I cannot compare. And similarly, Kalahari, that is 9 into 10 power 6 over 10 power 1. So this is 10 power 6, divide. This is 0.9 into 10 power 6. And then you decide Antarctica is the largest desert. I never knew this information. Calculate the total area of A and K deserts. Give your answer in standard form. Arabian is 10 power 6. This is 0.9, 10 power 6. Unless and until the powers are equal, you cannot take common. Take common, you get this thing. This A has to lie between 1 and 10. 1 could be a possibility, but it has to be lesser than 10. This is basic. Scales and maps. I talked about vectors a lot. in one of the classes earlier also. There are a lot of videos on vectors. You can check it out. So now over here, what do we have? We have this thing. The scale of a map is 2 centimeter to 1 kilometer. The area of wood on the map is 6 centimeters square. Calculate the actual area of the wood in kilometers square. Okay. Now, when we talk about scales and maps, it's a linear scale, first of all. So this is map over here. Map is in blue color, and actual it's in green color. So the blue thing is 2 centimeter square, so becomes 4 centimeters square. Green is 1 kilometer square, it's 1 kilometer square. So that is by squaring both sides. And then we have 6 centimeters square. So this is basically multiplication by 1.5, multiplication by 1.5. So you can show the working, you can write down the direct answer, but better to show the working. Circle, we went over this. Inverse function, always write this thing. Let y is equals to fx, f inverse y is equals to x, make x the subject. Once x is made the subject, replace it with f inverse y. And since we have a habit of writing in terms of x, so f inverse x. Factorization, you can take common as it is. Once these two brackets are same, then you take common. This is the same knowledge that we apply in middle term factorization. Just over here, 15 into -4, -60. Positive 5 minus 12, multiplication, -60 adds up to -7. Unless and until these two are the same, you cannot take common. And this is just factorized. There is no equal sign over here. Matrices is no longer part of the syllabus. Vectors, let me do this question for you people. It says in the triangle ACD, B is the midpoint of AC, E is the midpoint of AD, B is the midpoint of AC, E is the midpoint of this thing. AB is 6A plus 3B. So from A till B, that is 6A plus 3B. B till C, it's also the same. Written over here, DC is this thing. AE is ED because it's a midpoint. AE is ED. Take care of the direction. AC, that is this plus the same thing. Right over here. And then I'm interested in AD. So A till D, D till C, that is the same thing as A till C. AD plus DC is AC, make AD the subject, replace AC with this, replace DC with this, take care, you get this thing. Now it says, show that EB is parallel to DC, and this is 3 marked. Show that this and this are parallel. That means first find this. In order to find this, I should first find AE. Do we have AD? Yes. Half of AD is AE. So first step, AE is half of AD. Work in fractions, never in decimals. And then A till E, E till B, that is A till B. A till E, E till B, that is AB. Therefore, we find this thing, EB. Take LCM so that you can take half common out. And this thing is exactly over here, 5A plus 2B, this one. So one vector is the scalar multiple of the other. That means they are parallel. If two vectors divide, leaving behind a constant, that means they are parallel. That is the logic. Now, someone is asking this thing. Sir, I'm struggling with vectors. Do not worry. Watch the video in the playlist. I think that is the last minute help that I can give it to you. And someone said, Muhammad Zamin Raza, thank you, sir, for all your effort. Just prayers are needed. Thank you, people. So now this thing is done. Let me choose some other paper. I think this one was a very nice question of proportionality, because paper one, it's all about algebra and arithmetic, which is called numbers also. And then a little bit of mensuration and vectors and all these things that comes in very small quantity. So yes, you should be, of course, good with everything, but do not take this thing lightly. Now look at this question. It says, y is directly proportional to w square, x is inversely proportional to w. Y is directly proportional to W square, Y is KW square, X is inversely proportional to W, X is H over W. Use two different constants. Do not mix it up. Now, W is 10, Y is 5, X is 0.4. So now Y is 5, W is 10. Let me write it over here. So over here, Y is 5, W is 10. That is what we are writing over here. And then we find K as 5 over 100. Got it? Over here, X is 0.4. X is 0.4, W is 10. That is what I'm using over here. So this thing is used over here. This thing is used over here. Got it? I got K as 5 over 100. I can reduce it 1 over 20 if I want to. I got H as 4. Now, Y is this thing. X is this thing. So what should I do? Make W the subject. Plug it in over here. W is 4 over X. W square is 16 over X square. So 5 over 100 into 16 over X square. 5 over 100 into 16 over X square. Simplify, you get 4 over 5 X square. So nice question. Take a screenshot if you want to. Someone asked this question, so how is 76 out of 100 for A star? For A star, it's less. Usually, let me write it over here. Where is my space for writing? Now, people usually, I'm just giving you an idea. A star is like 85% above for both the papers combined. A is 70% above and B is like 55% above. So basically, what we are talking about is that for both the papers, this is average threshold over the years. So if we are looking at this, then 85 above is A star, between 70 to 84 is A, between 55 to 69, that is a B. So that's more or less the same thing. So now this thing is done. Where was I? I was here. So now let me look at this question, something to do with perpendicular bisector. A is the point 311, B is the point -5, -5. The equation of line L is this thing. Show that L is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Just go ahead and find the perpendicular bisector. That is the easiest. There is A, there is B, there is the gradient of AB. Gradient of perpendicular should be -half. It should pass through the midpoint of A and B. That is the midpoint. Find the equation and then it's proven. How many marks? Where are the marks? 5 marks. I think very simple thing. Now, let's see what's here. Now, this bus question, yes, a lot of people ask about this thing. LCM, HCF. It says write 36 as a product of its prime factors. 36 is 4 into 9. That's 2 square, 3 square. 48, that is for the second part. I have written it over here. 48, the LCM is 2 power 4 and 3. The LCM is 2 square and 2, 4. Lowest common multiple. Take the highest one. 3 and 3 square. Take 3 square. That is 144. Bus A leaves the bus station every 36 minutes. Bus B leaves the bus station every 48 minutes. The two buses leave the bus station at 9:30. A long time ago, this came. Long time means November 2023. And we are in June 2025. So expect the unexpected. Now, people, let me focus on this. The two buses both leave the bus station at 9:30. Find the next time when the two buses leave the bus station together. So 144 minutes is the LCM. So after 144 minutes, they will be together. That means 1 hour will pass, another hour will pass. That is 120. And then 24 minutes will pass. So 9:30 till 10:30, 10:30 till 11:30, another 24 minutes, 11:54. And that is the alternative approach, 36, 72, 108, 144, 180, 48, 96, 144. So this is the common multiple. That's the lowest common multiple. And that's about such questions. And let me pick and choose something else. Number pattern. The second term of a linear sequence is 28. The fifth term of a linear sequence is 16. Find the first term and the fourth term of the sequence. So now, how many terms are there? So basically, 28 plus something is giving me T3. T3 plus something is giving me T4. T4 plus something is giving me this. So basically, 28 plus 3D is giving me 16. I find the value of D, which is negative, which makes sense because it is reducing. 28 becoming 24, 24 becoming 20, 20 becoming 16. Find the first, third, and fourth term of the sequence. First term should be 4 more because you're going in this direction, just like decimals, that is 32. There are first 5 terms of a different sequence. Again, those who want to understand sequence and number pattern, there are some videos, do check it out. Someone asked this question, is it P2? No, it's not P2. It's P1. These are the first 5 terms of a different sequence, 3, 9, 19, 33, 51. The difference between first 2 is 6, and then it's increasing by 4, then increasing by 4, then increasing by 4. If the first difference increases by a constant value, if the line of first difference, it's a linear sequence, that means the second difference is constant, therefore it's a quadratic sequence. It's of the format an square plus bn plus c. And we use this result. We can solve it simultaneously as I've done. N is equals to 1. T1 is a plus b plus c. N is equals to 2. T2 is 4a plus 2b plus c. N is equals to 3. T3 is 9a plus 3b plus c. So therefore, the difference between these two is 3a plus b. That is the first term of first difference. First term of first difference is what? That is 3a plus b. The first term is what? A plus b plus c. And the difference between these two is the second difference, which is a constant, which is 2a. So let me write it on this page so you can have a good idea. When we talk about a quadratic sequence, Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. The first term is simply a plus b plus c. This thing over here, that is the second difference is constant. That is 3a. The second difference, that is constant, that is 3a. And by the way, this is a quadratic sequence. And then this thing over here, the first term of first difference, the first term of first difference is 3a plus b. The first term of first difference is 3a plus b. So you solve these 3 equations, you start with this, then you move to this, then you move to this, and that's how you get this answer. So now let me do this question again, 3, 9, 19, 33, 51. So now this is 3, 9, 19, and 51. So 3 and 9, the difference is 6. 9 and 19, the difference is 10. 19 and 33, the difference is 14. 31, 33 and 51, the difference is 18. Focus on this. Focus on this. And last 6 and 10, the difference is 4. 10 and 14, the difference is 4. 10, 14 and 18, the difference is 4. This testifies to the fact that it's a quadratic sequence. So this 4 is 3a. So this thing, that is my bad, that is 2a, not 3a. I just copied it wrong. You can work it out or you can remember these formulas. So first thing first, 2a is equals to 4a comes out to be 2. That is step number 1. Find a. Then in red color, let me work this out. That is 3a plus b, its first term of first difference, which is 6. Step 2, 3a plus b is equals to 6. 3 into 2 plus b is 6. Therefore, b is 0. Yes, one of them can come out to be 0. Two of them can come out to be 0. Now the third one, the very first term, that is A plus B plus C. So step 3. That is A plus B plus C. How much is that? That is 3. B is 0, it's gone. A is 2, 2 plus C is 3. Therefore, C comes out to be 1. Therefore, the final ending, that is Tn is an square plus Bn plus C. B is 0, C is 1, A is 2. So therefore, Tn is 2n squared plus 1. Double check. When n is 1, T1 is 2 into 1 squared plus 1, which is 3. When n is 2, T2 is 2 into 2 squared plus 1. 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. When n is 3, this is just to make sure. 2 into 3 squared plus 1, 9 into 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. So therefore, let me remove it. So therefore, this is 19. This is all good, all clear. Now, someone asked this thing, what about individual components? It's more or less the same. Usually, in paper 1, it's a bit higher as compared to paper 2, but it's variable. So usually for paper 1, I think there is a threshold document that I have. Let me just search it out for you. So I think I shared that thing earlier. Threshold, I think that is what I've labeled it. Yes, there it is. So threshold document for O levels. And this is for June 2024. Just have a look at this. So let's focus on our component. That is 1, 2. So over here, 1, 2 out of 80 marks. This is previous syllabus. Now it's 100. Out of 80, 61. And then you can say that this is 75%. So if I make it 100, that is like 75%. That would be the minimum for A. The A star applies on the total. And just talk about the major things, not small stuff. Out of 100, this is 69. So therefore, this is 69%. That means the component paper, this thing, is higher as compared to this by like 6%. If I compare this thing, again, have a look, out of 80, that is 63. So this is a little bit more than 75. Let's say 76%, 77%. And this is again like 61, 67%. So that is like 6, 7%. And this is for the overall, that is A star and then A and then B. The real grade is A star and A's. So of course, if you want to excel, so just do your level best. Don't overstress yourself. And I think that is all from my side from today, for today. So take care, everyone, and see you all. So let me just cancel it out from the Zoom. Take care, everyone.